I want to give you a quick review of these 3 different blowers, and sometimes I think it's just helpful to be able to see them side by side so you can see the size difference, and I want to give them just a quick demonstration to see the power. Let's talk about some of the specs difference, but first let me introduce them. This yellow one is by a company called Lazy Boy, L-A-Z-Y-B-O-I. You can see the gray one in the middle is by this company, We Go Fly, and the orange one is by that company, I'm gonna say Mixlin. Now, one of the things I like about all 3 of these is they all come with a charger, which makes sense, but they all come with 2 batteries. So that's great because if one goes dead, you got a backup to use while the other one is charging. There is a difference in the batteries. On the yellow Lazy Boy, it comes with a 2 amp hour battery. Gray We Go Fly is a 6 amp hour battery, and then the orange one is a 4 amp hour battery. And so different size batteries, smallest battery, largest battery, and then medium battery on the orange one. As far as functionality goes, you might can imagine this just by looking at them. The yellow one's going to be the least powerful of these 3 compared to the other 2, which are comparable in power. A lot of times blowers will be rated like by this here, the CFM. That has to do with the volume of air that they're moving. So for instance, you may look at it, and if you feel them, you may say, okay, well, the yellow one feels like it's blowing about as hard as the other 2, but you look, the nozzle is much more narrow, so it's not the same volume, even if it's blowing the same miles per hour, if you will. With that being said, they all do accomplish the job as far as light blowing goes. I think these would be great for just blowing off a small area, but if you're talking about blowing an area that's got a bunch of wet leaves or something, they're not going to be, in my opinion, not powerful enough to do that kind of stuff very effectively. The yellow one will give you about 30 minutes runtime on low power, about 20 minutes on high power. Another thing worth mentioning is they are lightweight. So if you look for a lightweight blower that doesn't require gasoline, battery power, you don't have to worry about if you can get it to crank, you know, with a gasoline engine, then these certainly fit the bill for that. So let's just give them a brief demonstration. Noise level is very modest on all 3 of these. You see the yellow one here, it's got a power button here, so I'm gonna hold that down. And then you can go from low to high by pressing that. So you can see it is moving some leaves around and stuff, but not overwhelming. So you see it moves some leaves around, but not overwhelmingly powerful. Now this is the We Go Fly, the gray one. We're going to turn it on with a button there, and it actually has 6 speeds on it. So let's go to high speed. You're getting a little bit more volume of air, about like it's blowing about the same to me, but with significantly more volume, so it actually, you know, is more effective. Orange one, I like the way it feels actually. The handle on it is more comfortable, and it's got 3 speeds on it, so I'm just gonna hold the button down. Actually, just in comparison, it felt like the orange one was doing the best job, and I actually like the way it felt in my hand as well. But similar power to the gray one. Obviously, the yellow one's going to be slightly less power than the other 2, or just a smaller nozzle as well. But it's extremely light. All come with 2 batteries. All get good reviews on Amazon. 3 different blowers, handheld. Hope this video's helped you and given you a side-by-side